off mute. That would probably help a lot. Hello, Michael. I'm just going to tweet out at people and stuff. Hope you like my lovely design. Let's see. Insert card for the Trinity. Don't have an artistic bone in my body. Fun. Let's see. I did the chat up. Hello, Rotor, Michael, Johnny. I'm doing it wrong. Rotor, Michael. Sound is not good. Sound is crap. Oh, there's two sounds. Brightness, Dart, Fader. I suppose I better listen to what that sounds like. Turn off my speakers. Let me bring me up on my phone. Sound is bad. I'm not sure I'm actually subscribed to my second channel. It is bad. What's up with that? Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's really bad. Why is it doing that? It's the high quality we all expect from me at this stage. Now. This is using my good mic. Turn it on and off again. Testing. Hello? No, it's still bad. Testing 1, 2. Hope you've been occupying each other while I was gone. Mic is not plugged into a USB hub. I just stopped and started OBS and it seems to have fixed it. I'm gonna stop it on my phone now because it's real annoying. We have image. Video is good. That's good. Yeah, it's my DSLR. I said I'd give you the perfect view of my graying hair because that's real important. Way more important than this grayed out image of me here. Look at that high quality. This is what you come here to see. These, like, a decent color version of me. Yeah, okay. So, what did you think of my thumbnail? I thought it was actually quite nice. my video autos to 144 all the time. Still image. No, the thing is good. You can even hear the mouse clicks. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, everything's fine now, right? I wasn't giving you the finger. I held up one, like one, not not the other way around. Hello, Patrick, Frank, Johnny, Michael, Hansi, Simple, Bali, Paul, Rotor, Aaron, Brian. I think that's everybody, and Michael. Brian cannot count. I can't. I think it was kind of cutting in and out, too. And I think I fixed it. Oh, and Mark Olson is here, and potentially Emma. Hello to everybody. You can see your beard hairs. Yes, they're going pretty grey now too. Yeah, okay. So I might need to do adjusting of some thingies. What are these things called? Scenes as I'm going, because yes, you see I'm not there anymore. At least my audio is still there. Yes, here I am. Okay, so actually, yeah, back to the main camera. So what we're doing here, let's give some context, although I know all of you, so I think not that much context is needed. This is the ESP32 Trinity. It's my open source ESP32 board for controlling these RGB LED matrices. I am currently finalizing this. I have began my order with Maker Fabs to get them made up, but I want to be a little bit fancier than I've been in the past with documentation. I don't know where Dustin Watts' one is, but if any of you have gotten a touchdown, Dustin sends you a nice little card with it with some documentation on it, and I like that. I would like to do the same. The mouth sync could be way off. I think there is a bit of a delay between the capture card and me talking, so it could be messed up, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to fix it now. Yeah, so, but what I do have here is one of Xeon's cards. Yeah, so it's not very focused, but through the power of focus, we can focus. So yes, this is one of Xeon's cards with his tiny Pico board, and it's really nice. Like, I think it's pretty cool to have this as a point of reference. Yeah, so I don't have as much features as Xeon does. So like maybe a list like this won't be quite as what's needed, but I have two sort of problems with this thing. Is I don't know what to put on the card, so I'm hoping to get help with that. And I also do not have an artistic bone in my body, so people's opinions, like Johnny's saying just hire Dustin. If Dustin is available to do this, I would happily end the stream right now. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. Yeah, so let me show you where I've kind of gotten so far. So I used Easy EDA to let's just ignore that purple thing. I used Easy EDA to generate an image of. So this is the 3D viewer using Easy EDA, and it's pretty decent. Oh yeah, like, but like, say with someone like Dustin or Billy or anyone like that, like I can't afford to pay what they would deserve to be paid for their work. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm kind of stuck having to do it myself. Yeah, like isn't this isn't too bad. I think this is actually okay as the image, as the like maybe maybe a more flat version would be better, because I have had to like offset this slightly to the left so I could see the pads here at the breakout board place. But like I guess the other thing as well is it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly like Dustin's or Sion's or whatever. That I'm more concerned about like what are the pieces of information that would be useful for you on cards like this. Because if you have this card, you already have the board. I don't need to sell you the Trinity anymore. Look, I'm all for help. I will take any help anyone offers me. I'm not above this. It is a bit tilted, and that is because untilted it doesn't show these pads because of this big tall green thing. Yeah, like to make it straight down, you can mess a little with the context of the canvas element. So like edit the HTML. Send me that version on Discord. I'll do you one better. I'll send you this version on Discord, right? which is I've made the LEDs purple by the power of Photoshop, and I've made these screw terminals red and black. So yeah, let me send you that. So I'm just gonna change to me just in case I'm a top-down view from infinity. I didn't even think about that now, to be honest. But we can grab something like that if we need to. Right, so general, let's share. Oh, we can hear some cows outside. Board modified.png. I wonder will it compress it? Who knows? Right, it is in the thing, but yeah. So like, I'm like, obviously that is something that it needs to be done. The graphics or whatever. I can send you on that stuff too. Just so you know, there is a license for that stuff, but it's not important. But just you can't use it for anything else that it's not licensed for. But I have it licensed, so it's fine. But where did I put it? It's probably pictures, products, Trinity, yes. Noun fingerprint. Which one is which now? Is it that one? Yes, it's that one. I think that's it. Is that what the Trinity logo looks like? I forget now at this stage. Okay, so I've just dumped a lot of stuff into Discord there, Aaron, and the overall board dimensions. That's a good question. I suppose it's probably as easy to find out off like JLC or someone than to go get my calipers. Let's see, JLC. I'll just get my calipers. They're over there. You can see my lovely Crocs. No, my calipers are out of battery. Guess we're going to JLC or Easy EDA, so to find out the board dimensions. Ooh, I'm actually already logged into Easy EDA. Easy EDA or Google has gotten a lot kind of fussier about me logging into Easy EDA. Trinity. Sorry, I'm not set up to share my screen very well at the moment, so that's why you're just looking at my face. But we'll get back to the screen sharing in a second. Design, fabricate, Gerber, no, generate Gerber. The design width is, can I just copy that? It's 75.44, I'll just type this in, 0.44 by 40.51. That is the dimensions in millimeters. Okay. Let's close that out. Okay, so, but like how fancy or whatever that looks like, that's fine. We'll have to do something or whatever with that. But the thing I'm kind of most sort of concerned about is like, thanks Aaron, and Dustin as well. Somebody was already offering up your services, Dustin, and I was like, if I could hire Dustin to do this, I would just finish this stream right now, no problems. Yeah. But then I was also saying that I wouldn't be able to afford to pay like what you would deserve to be paid for it. So that's why we're here doing it ourselves. Yeah, so as I was explaining, I'm inspired by Dustin and Sion's. I don't know where Dustin's is, but I have Sion's here. Card thing. And even by a bit of a mistake, a bit of a loss in translation with Maker Fabs, like I asked for a price for basically the same size one as Dustin's, which is bigger than this. It's this one is your services. This one is it's about the same actually. Dustin's is 10 by 7. Yeah, it's about the same as this actually, so or it's Dustin's is roughly 10 by 7 if I remember right. Yeah, but like what is the information that people want to see on this thing? That's one of the other things. There was something else I was meant to do and I'm just going to do it now. And I'll talk about what it is in 2 seconds. spot, but I'm not sure what my password is for this website. Okay, I got it. Can anyone guess what I'm doing right now? Item requires configuration. Use existing. No, I don't want to. Yeah. I can't even see your chat at the moment, so I you could be guessing the right thing for all I know, but oh, I understand the terms and conditions. Where do I? Why do I need to add a new card? What? No. Why? Why? Okay, 2 seconds. This is the high quality stuff you come for. Let's make sure I'm not sharing anything I'm not meant to be. Oh, such awful UI design. But anyways. Okay, I'm finished doing what I needed to do. Did anyone guess what I was doing? Setting roles in Discord? No. AliExpress? No. Hey John, how's it going? Hello embedded hobbyist. Probably making everyone a mod. No. Hello Quindor, how's it going? Silent Brian Night. Brian was really busy doing something. I opened the closet when I was getting the calipers that's out of battery. No, what I was doing was I was buying ESP32 Trinity.com in case I wanted to use it on the card, and I didn't want to talk about it in case somebody else took it before me. So yeah, I should own it now, unless one of you somehow manages to snipe me. But yeah, I believe I own it now. Yes, okay, so that's done. Right. Okay, so here is a blank canvas, for want of a better word, that is roughly the right size, right? So the terrible UI was, so I got to the checkout, right, and it was my stuff up the top, and I already have an account with this hosting provider. I don't use their hosting at all. I just buy the domains off them. I don't even know why. I doubt they're cheap or anything, but it's just the devil you know, or whatever. But like the terrible UI was, so it's like the checkout thing here, and over on the left was like your existing cards, and then over on the right was like add a new payment, and they were like side by side, and like there was a big button under the add new payment that I thought was the like next button or whatever. Like it was add new payment, and then there was a next button, or like, you know, it was just like, why? I'm not screen sharing where my oh yeah, I am screen sharing this. I was like, I'm not screen sharing the checkout, but I will screen share this. You're right, Dustin. Please forgive me. Let's move this along here. Right. What is that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know what that is. Okay. So, here's where we are. ESP32 Trinity. Right. Yeah, bit loony, and well, you already have a good head start over me, because I tell you my name right from the offset. I need to. You don't need to see my fan quite as much as me, so I may as well add me back in here. Yes. Okay. Hello, Sanders. Yeah. So this is a good start, but. Right, what would you want to see on this thing? Right, we've got front and back of a 10x7 card, and Comic Sans was to trigger people. I will probably not use Comic Sans. Possibly little known fact is I use the same font in nearly all my titles and all my stuff, and it is Shoga, what is it called? Segui. You can't see that. Let me zoom out a little bit here with this, because I can be zooming in pretty. How do I zoom out a bit? Yes, that'll probably do. So Comic Sans was from where I was doing that, but this is the one I use for basically all my videos and stuff. Shoiga black, so I think it's just a bolded version of Shoiga, but yeah, a Celtic font. Yeah, maybe. They also known as the clickbait font. Yeah. So there is a tool called Pinout, which is actually kind of hard to find on GitHub for some reason. But it's not really exactly what I want to do, I don't think. So if I show you some of the stuff that I was like playing around with earlier. Where is Paint.net? So there's Trinity, like, you know, I was kind of looking at maybe we'll do out a list, and then I was like, oh, maybe we'll do the list like this. And I also had the idea of, is it this one? Yeah, this one here, which would be just kind of more like, I've moved this since now, but like, as in this would be like kind of like Dustin's one with an arrow pointing to different stuff. Hey Bob, how's it going? Yeah, so I'm using Paint.net at the moment, which is fine. It's a tool I know how to use, which is as always good. Then I was also looking at potentially doing something more along this one. No, I was playing with that one, but the resolution of that was crap. So this one, yeah, this one where you'd put the numbers and then you'd like place the numbered dots on top of the drawing. But I'm not. Oh, you're in Florida. A big yeah. So I was thinking about it over dinner, and don't tell my wife that I was, but she could be watching. I don't think she is, but yeah. So I was thinking about it over dinner, right? Affinity Designer. That sounds fancy. Might look at it afterwards. But even, like, to be honest, if if I got at the end of this, like at the end of the stream, I probably won't stream that long, and I know I always say that, but I probably won't today because I'm really tired. And I know I always say that too, but yeah. If at the end of the stream I had a general layout, I would consider that a win. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to have the exact thing I want finished. Yeah, that pinout lib is what I was talking about earlier, but so like that might help you make something nicer, but it doesn't generate like a layout for you, right? You need to bring what you want to the table of it, right? Like, if I wanted to label these 8 pins, like to say what they do, that pinout library would be perfect for it. And maybe I do want to do that, but maybe that's not what I want. Let's just open up a new layer so I can literally scribble whatever I want on it. Right, new layer, scribble whatever I want. Like, maybe you put your title up here. Let's draw in red or something, because that would make more sense. So like maybe you put your title up here, right? And then underneath that you might put like a one-liner, like is in an open source ESP32 board for controlling Hub 75 LED matrix panels, or whatever, as in whatever you want to write there as your thing. As Simple Electronics mentioned, you'll probably have a QR code of some description, however a QR code looks. But either way, like, you need to link people to the documentation. Like, however good this card is, it doesn't have examples on it, it doesn't have whatever else on it. Like, so maybe like one section over here is like for like for documentation, examples, and blah blah blah. Visit the GitHub page, and you have your QR code. Maybe over on the left here, an AR view. Like maybe as in like that is there is stuff you could do like that, but at the moment I just really need to focus on what goes on the card, because I need to send the card like designed to Maker Fabs too, so they can make them and put them in the boxes. Right, so then like maybe over here, like I was talking to Sion before about like, this whole, hey, this is, they've bought it now. How much do I need to sell this, right? And he was like, you'd be surprised how many people don't know that the Tiny Pico has Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or whatever. And I was like, oh, wow, yeah. Like, I guess, like sometimes we possibly take for granted that everybody knows what an ESP32 is. Like, maybe it's like a case of they've come across, like, in the future, they've come across a project of mine, something like the Wi-Fi Tetris clock, and they're like, cool, I want to make this, and they just buy it, but they don't really know what an ESP32 is, or the fact that it has Bluetooth, or, I guess that project, you automatically assume it has Wi-Fi, but, yeah, so I do not, yeah, I suppose, like, if I wanted to save space, I could put the QR code there. I probably won't. like I'm even thinking that this image doesn't need to be on the front at all. I don't have Dustin's one here. I have pictures of it on my phone, but like that, Dustin's one has a like a list of key features on the front, and has the big image then on the back with like things pointing to, like, this is USB and it's 2.0, and this is the stemma connector or whatever, and this is the capacitive touch interface and things like that. Like this is like a cheat sheet, right? This is, you can't give everybody all the information that they need, but you want it to be somewhat useful, that they can just go, okay, yeah, I have everything I want to do with this. So yeah, maybe your layout is, you know, something like that, where you put your information over here of like, here's the QR code, and you know, for examples of projects, and another blah 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 blah. I actually have a new one now. The diagram is gone. I couldn't finish the new design in time. Ooh, I'd be interested to see your new one. Like, and then, like, I was kind of, you know, this is no shade on you, Dustin. I'm literally just, like, kind of brainstorming with myself. Like, I'm kind of also wondering, like, you know, is it that useful to, like, have a thing that says, like, this is the CP2102 or the CH30 whatever, and you know, this is the, you know, this is whatever, and this is the whatever, and this is the whatever. Like, maybe it is and maybe it's not. Like, I don't know, it probably is, but I'm just trying to question everything around, like, what yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Like, you know, so, like, okay, when you think about the Trinity, what are the key features, right? Well, like, let's start with that. Like, you think QRs are useless when it's about GitHub repo or something that you may need to download? QR code should just be a presentation. But this is a presentation card. Like, as in, this would be a physical thing that, like, if you want to get to the repo. Now, the only thing is, like, you scan the QR code on your phone, which, you know, is probably not where you want to view the documentation. The font I use is Shoiga Black. Where is the font selection thing? Shoiga UI Black. But I don't mind. Yeah, like, isn't Sion has on his card about, like, what's the max current that can be put on the 3.3 volt regulator and stuff, and, like, you know, I need to find out what the max current is that I could put on mine. Yeah, so, like, connectors are useful. Like, so for me, like, so for this USB thing, right? I think it's probably even important to call out that that's for programming and power. Like, you can program it and you can power it using USB if you want, right? Like, other important features is if features, like, do you go down as far as saying, like, you know, features dual core ESP32 with Bluetooth, with built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi? That's probably feature number one, right? That, like, is in, hey, this is a powerful development board. You know, you know, like, it's hard to know where to pitch this, and this was kind of one of the main reasons I wanted to do the stream, was because we could brainstorm. Like, I could design this thing 5 times over and still not be happy with it. But, like, if I get input from all of you guys, then, and gals, if there's anyone watching that's not a guy, but, like, yeah, it just, this stuff's hard because there's no right answer, right? Could I move my picture? I can move my picture, yeah. There we go. Do I have a FAQ? Well, like, this thing doesn't exist yet. I can have whatever I want on the GitHub page, right, or the web page. Like, so I just bought ESP32 Trinity.com, right? So, like, that may or may not end up almost just pointing to the GitHub page, but I don't know. Define the use of the card. Well, like, you get a card with the product. What would you use it for? Like, that's that's what we're trying to figure out. Okay, so the Teensy is a complete USB-based microcontroller development system in a very small footprint, capable of implementing many types of projects. All programming is done via the USB port. So, like, that's kinda the stuff, right? Yeah, hole diameters, like, that could be useful. The dimensions of the board, potentially useful. So another thing that kind of started out as a mistake, compatible with Arduino software and libraries, yeah. But you see, Brian, this is one thing that like, I'm questioning too. So sales 101. So this isn't the same as designing like the back of the box, right? Nobody's going to be in Walmart or wherever picking this thing up and going, oh, I see it has a dual core ESP32 or whatever. Like people say, if someone bought this board, they know what it can do. I'm not 100% sure if that's true. Like, probably, right? Like, as in, I could definitely see a scenario where somebody, like, goes, oh, that's a cool project, I want to do that, they told me to buy this thing. Yeah, like, the real value is going to be in the instructions and the examples, right? And I can't cover that all on this card, but we have a little bit of space on this card. And what are the important things that you have to put in? Like, 5-volt only. That is, like, yeah, that is super important information. Powered by 5 volts only, while not quite a feature, is really important. Like, it's actually written there too, but you just can't see it the far side of the thing. Yeah, so, like, I think probably, you know, the most important stuff is, yeah, so I want to fire up the board. Yeah, so that brings me to another point, and I keep getting distracted, but so I asked MakerFabs for a cost of a card around Dustin's size, and then I also was like, okay, could I also get a price for a card, like a business card, right? If the card of Dustin's size was too expensive, could I also get a price of a business card? Because I was like, you know, that thing's full color, you can fit a little bit of information on it, like, as in, not as much, you mightn't be able to put the image of the board on it or whatever, but, like, you know, you could put some stuff in it. And they assumed that I wanted both, and and the price was reasonable to get both, so I have the possibility of getting both a business card one and a regular card one. Like, my original thought was getting one or the other. Yeah, so you paid 10 cent a card. Like, I I don't know what the quality of them is going to be like, but like the quote Maker Fabs gave me was it was a little bit cheaper than that. Uh, the font looks different. That's what Shoga UI Black looks to me, which is the same as the one above. Well, like with Maker Fabs, there isn't really postage for these things. It'll be in each package. Like each Trinity will be in a box, and it will be in that box, so it's not really additional postage. So like what I was thinking of was this: how to use the board. You see, it's quite difficult to like explain how to use the board, but I like your thinking though, Duncan. Like, as in, could you explain how to use the board in one page? Like, isn't maybe instructions on how to use the board is more important than the like this does that, as in, pointing at USB whatever, or like if I show you my Flexi, it's about one of the only good ideas I've ever had in my life. So this is my Flexi friend, and I'm going to be in the way here. So let me move me again. Yeah, so this is my Flexi friend and documentation, and in I probably have it in docs or leaflet. So like I print out this leaflet and click download. Yeah, I print out this leaflet and on half an A4 page and include it with every package. And the idea is to try get across the key pieces of using the Flexi Friend, that it needs to be a power delivery source. And like if your power supply supports 20 volts minimum 2.4 amps, you should flick the switch to 20 volts. And if it supports 15 volts minimum 1.8 amps, it should be 15 volts. And then if you have any other questions, scan this QR code. And I really like this, right? I think this worked out really well. Yeah, but like that is, I went on to, I had this idea of doing this, right? It was my idea to go, I would love to do an IKEA style instruction manual for the Flexi Friend. And I went on to Etsy, or not Etsy, Fiverr, and I found someone who does this stuff, and I sent them a few images of things, including the Flexi Friend and the TS100, and they did this up, and I think it looks real nice. Like, it's simple. Like, I even think this style of a drawing probably suits better than a full color one. Like, so if you were to like, yeah, so like rotor, how to wire it up. Yeah, like it probably is. Could you boil down the instructions to be something that'll fit, in like 5 or 6 steps, or maybe 4 panels or something? Two Allen keys. Yeah, I must have a bazillion Allen keys. Yeah, so like if I just start a new thing here. New. Alright, so let me just grab this. I'll grab this one because it's smaller. maybe I don't grab any of them. But like, you know, maybe you do 4 panels and it's like, get your board, the Trinity board, it's got an arrow on it. Oh, that's a terrible arrow, but you know what I mean. Let's try the arrow again. Like, line that up with the arrow that's on the matrix board. But like, that's, you know, that's hard to kind of describe in an image. Plug that in, you know, get your screw terminals and wire them in. And we have color here. We didn't have that on the IKEA one. Then you could have like a split one here, which is either plug in the barrel jack. Ugh, I'm sorry, everybody. Or the USB C. Should have a bit more height to it, but anyways. Kind of like a duck. Let's look at. Maybe you put your 5 volt only. That's terrible, but you know what I mean. Like, you know, can you get across the steps of setting it up? Like, if the only thing people got from the board is that you can only power up with 5 volts, and here's where you get the instructions, I'd be like, that's a bit of a win. Like, yeah, caution, note on the card, don't blow it up before you look at the examples. Yeah, so the alignment stuff isn't a problem anymore, right? Because I have the new Trinities, or sorry, the new connector I use for the Trinities are keyed now. I think it's still focusing on me a bit too much. Yeah, you can see the keyedness of it up there. So you can't align it wrong anymore. The only thing you can do is plug it in wrong. So you see that arrow there. So you need, there's 2 connectors, and you need to plug it into the one the arrows are, like, the arrow is moving away from, but I guess it's kind of moving towards the other one. Yeah, so the one it's moving away from, and there's arrows on the board, both on top and bottom, that line up with the arrows on the display. So you kind of match those 2 arrows together. Yeah, the key connectors is a new thing for the Trinity. No memory card, that's fine, because I don't want you to record anything. Yeah, the key connectors is a new thing for the Trinity. But yeah, okay, so that's, like, I should probably be taking notes here, because this is good information, and I know it's not the sexiest of topics for a stream or whatever, but I do really appreciate the feedback on this, because it can be, like, design and stuff can be like a lonely place, right? Because if you're not bouncing ideas off people, you're just like spending time doing the wrong thing and going, I don't like this, or I do like this, and then other people are like, I don't understand that at all. So yeah. Okay, so Does anybody want to argue? I'm writing down focus on the setup. Does anybody want to argue that that's not what we should be doing on a card like this? Well, how about where did we end up on features and stuff too, right? That like it probably is like we have space, you know. Should we list key features and then focus on the setup as the other, like they're the two main things that this card does. Minimum specs. I'd say the specs. Yeah, so the setup documentation is hard, right? Because the setup documentation, if I wrote it this time last year, would be different. And that bothers me. Like, because the library that I use has changed. A photo of the board in place, like in the matrix panel. Yeah, maybe. Like I'm not 100% sure how good the I'm not 100% sure how good the print is going to be. Like I'm going to assume it's not the best. Specs first. Yeah, so okay, so specs is possibly the main thing. Like there's not a whole lot to my specs, right? There's the card should provide pinouts and a link to the web docs and keep updating the web pages for free, but a simple mistake on it. Yeah. Even the pinouts isn't super useful. Like the pinout is somewhat useful. I'll explain now in a second. So I'm gonna get this back up. So like say I told you, oh, let's not draw on that layer. Let's draw on any other layer. Like say I told you what each one of these pins was. There isn't really any advantage to that. Like as in, what you should do is go look at the examples. Do you know what I mean? Like so I think 2 of these are ground and all of the rest of them are GPIO pins. So there's a lot of GPIO pins there. And I would argue that they're not that useful. These ones are useful. This is another useful one. TX and RX are here somewhere and ground. So from a GPIO point of view, that's it. And I suppose this LED is also a GPIO of sorts, but like I don't think there's a huge amount of use for that, although it may be useful to know that those pins are taken up. But I think that might be more useful in kind of like a table format, right? Because, you know, Quindor had Quindor had the question of like, oh, could this potentially be used with the Ethernet shield? And, you know, it can't, right? Because we share the pins that are in here share the like they're the same. The Ethernet pins and the ones that are in here are the same. But like it would be a lot to list out all the pins, right? That's like, hey, 22 is connected to R1 or whatever. Like that's long and pointless, right? Like maybe you can just go, here are the free pins, right? Assume any other pin is used. Like, you know, here are the available pins that you could use for the rest of your project. Like, you know, so like 2, 34, 33, 32, SDA, which is 21, I think SEL is 22 or whatever way that is, ground and 3 volts. You know, like they're available. So specs: hub 75 connector, 5-volt barrel jack, USB-C input for power and programming. I think the programming is important. You have it listed lower down, but like I think that's a good. I think that's a good list of stuff, Rotor. I'm gonna save that somewhere. Where would I save that now? I'm afraid of. 1 second. No, it's going somewhere else. I like that Rotor. I think that's a good list of specs, right? I2C extension connector. Might have to change that because like the I2C pins are broken out there, but like an extension connector is probably like a stemma or a whatever quick or whatever those things are. And I probably would have done something like that if I was still designing the board again. So maybe ask techies is the wrong approach. Could be. Give a display and Trinity board and a blank card to Mrs. Locke to get it working and see what info. So like my wife is a very smart person. She is very capable at lots of things. Programming is not it. Like she does not have any interest in this stuff whatsoever. Just glazes over almost when I talk about it. So like I think that is a good approach to like, you know, not like presumably the majority of us here are relatively experienced with this stuff. That's why you watch my channel probably. But yeah. But that is a good point. There is other people I could ask, you know, who are maybe less experienced that it would be good to. Like, the other thing is, most people, when they get this stuff, are just going to dump them, right? So you just have to do it nice enough that you give a bit of information to those people who want it, and then move on from there. Right, so my thinking at the moment would be you'd have some title up the top here. You might even have over on the left, I'm just not going to bother moving stuff. Is it getting rid of stuff? Oh, who knows what I was Control Z in there. I'm not going to bother moving stuff, but you have your little, I don't know, is this the Trinity symbol? Whatever the Trinity symbol looks like. It looks something like that. With ESP32 Trinity before. So like the pinouts is a lot more important for a dev board than Trinity, I would say. Hey Mike. I did get a Teensy, but I don't remember where the card is for it, if I got a card at all. But like is in like a Teensy, you have to build something with it. Yeah. Yeah, but like my wife isn't going to install the Arduino IDE or install like the libraries required and things like that. It's not going to happen. Like if it was set up a Bluetooth speaker or something, you know, that would be an achievable like milestone to aim for, but this is just not going to happen. Yeah, you can all be guinea pigs. Yeah, so name up the top, probably the new lovely website I bought now, maybe underneath it with the like open source ESP32 board for controlling hub 75 matrix panels or whatever. Think of the whole header being a pin, so it's a pin out of connectors. What do you mean? Like, as in, like, I would argue that there's very little. The only useful thing about knowing what these pins were is that you can't use them for anything else. And I think if you just give people the information of what pins are available and say all the rest of them are used, then maybe that covers that. Hey, Sion, is there anyone else I haven't said hello to? I'm not sure if I said hello to Andy either. Hello, Andy. Yeah, so maybe website up here. Maybe we'll put a bit more focus on what we're doing here now. Now that Sion's here, we have to behave. Yeah, so we put the. Yeah, no, I'm not going to. I'm not worried about what it looks like at the moment if we get the layout. Because, like, if I had a layout, I could even go to someone on Fiverr and be like, here's my layout. Can you make me a pretty one of these, please? Like, at the moment, I would be going to Fiverr and be like, I don't know what I want, but can you make me one? Which is the worst customer ever. So, yeah, okay, so maybe let's put in text and we'll make it quite small. Right, so we'll probably center this or something, but Trinity.com. Do you put it up there? Maybe not. Like, possibly isn't any use. Fits nice under the Y. Possibly isn't any use. Sion's yeah, Sion has loads of free time. Of course he'll do it. I'm sure Sion would help me out, but I am absolutely not going to ask him to do it because of how busy he is. Yeah, the childishness. You should see the scribbles we've been doing. This is about as far as we've gotten, Sion. Yeah, like the web page up the top, maybe. Like, you know, there's going to be people who will find these cards useful, and there's going to be the bit loonies who are just going to, like, throw them out of the way to get to the board to just start working. Don't care where the things are, just put the stuff on. I can make it pretty for you later. Yeah, like, that would be great, Mark. Like, I feel really bad, like, getting people's help off this stuff, but, like, if we could just get the right, I'd be so happy if we get, like, the right information on it. Like, the absolutely critical things on this board from like it might break point of view is the power related stuff, right? That it has to be powered from 5 volts, and this is a hard part to talk about on a card. It'll be difficult to get across, but see this connector here, there will be a little jumper on this. Oh, there's dogs. Oops. I keep trying to draw on my my OBS screen rather than my so there'll be a little connector here, and if you put it on diode bypass, it allows the matrix to be powered by the USB port, which is fine. But if you try make the matrix all white, or, you know, put on something that's high powered, and this is plugged into your PC, which can only provide 500 milliamps, you're going to have a bad time. And, like, that's kind of hard to get across in a single thing. So, like, maybe, you know, the default, like, when they ship to people, the jumper will be on this one, right, which is not powered by USB then. So the USB is for programming only. But, like, maybe you know, put that across somehow. Like maybe that's information you put on the back. Like I would think that's nearly more useful than going like this is for I2S or I2C breakout. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, we're off track. Yeah. So I'm editing my. Okay. So let's put that up there. I think that looks quite tidy in there. Right. So let's put some more things. So we might have an open source ESP32 board for connecting to Hub 75 matrix panels. Yeah, whatever. It's not too long, too big, who cares? Maybe. Right, so that's fine. Then we would probably move on to features, right? Do you start with like the ESP32? Display driver board. That's nice. The problem, maybe I should do this in Word at the moment. I'm gonna do it in Word. 1 second. I can even start sharing it with you then. Google, because I can't go back and edit that text now. That's the problem about doing text editing on a Paint tool. Go to Google Docs, sign in with my more public email address. Okay. Let's get actually, we don't need the other thing. Okay, so I can't see you anymore. Come back. Use Canva. What's Canva? Create your own designs. Free forever. Ooh. I am personal? I'm just gonna say personal for the moment. Free trial. Maybe later. I don't need pro. Maybe later. What would I like to create? A poster, probably. Let me bring you into the party here. Create new design. What is it? It's card 14 by 10. It's a bit bigger, but it's pretty close. It's weird how they're giving it in like different dimensions as you go down. T-shirt, like there's inches, centimeters, and announcements. Gift certificate. Label. 6 by 4 inches of a label is probably pretty close. Report, tag, planner. Should we just go with what was close? Card. Card is pretty close. It looks like custom size is if I click resize anyways, it's a oh no, custom size is right up the top. So let's do 10. Skip to word, please. Create new design, 10 centimeters, no, 10 centimeters by 7 centimeters. Nope. Right, templates, is there any? I think what I'd be looking for is too plain for, perfect. Look at this, amazing. Close the templates. Okay, I'll close the templates. Right, so tan pearl. No, where's my lovely Shoga? Shoga. Oh, am I spelling that wrong? It's like my font. Can be no other. I don't mind using something else. Seagoi. Hope if I knew how to spell it. Seagoi. No, they don't have it. Okay. Let's look for something corporate. So open source looks pretty good. Yeah, open source will do me. Let's build my own. How do I know which is an on a system font or? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, sorry. Comic Sans. Yeah, did you like my thumbnail for this stream? Right. Okay, we probably make this bigger. ESP32 Trinity. You can even this is quite nice. ESP32 Trinity. Even make that bigger. ReallyRedSite.com. Can I move you? Alright, yeah, this is nifty. What did I use? Open source. I like the open source. Alright, what? Why is it all capitals? Uppercase. And why is it? Spacing looks weird on that, doesn't it? Maybe I just need to start again. An open source driver board featuring a USB programmable ESP32 controller. That sounds kind of nice. The spacing on this is weird though, right? I'm gonna just get rid of it. Add a subheading. Maybe I should have started with add a heading. Yeah. Catch sentence needs to be catchy. Trinity. ESP32 Trinity. Now do I center this? Subheading. Open source board. An open source. What did Sion say? Matrix driver board. an open source matrix display driver board. It's not super catchy, but it's open source matrix display driver board. Does it need the hub 75? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. We'll get onto that stuff in a second anyways. Elements, there's frames, grids, lines, shapes, like the dots and stuff. This probably is useful. More photo styles, charts, folders. You can add all sorts of stuff to this. Apps and integrations. This is quite nice. Text to the page. Body of text. An LED matrix driver board. Put open source in the corner like a TM sign. Yeah, this is kind of a weird situation. So like, in order to make the board truly open source, I have to submit it to the Open Source Hardware Foundation. And to do that, like truly open source, like to put their logo on it, to do that I would have to release the files of it. So I would have to release the files under a license that anybody's allowed to make them before I had a chance to make them, which is weird, right? I don't like that scenario. I don't mind them being released at a license where anybody is able to make them and even sell them. You know, I probably prefer if people didn't sell them, but that's the way the license needs to be. But I have a huge problem about doing it before I've had a chance to do it. Like, the first person selling them should be me, right? You know, maybe nobody. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Like, I don't mind it being open source hardware, but like I amn't going to put it on any documentation because I'm not going to be open source hardware when I'm creating the documentation. Yeah, I think a lot of people would care, Brian, that it is open source. That a lot of people like to support boards that are open source. Sorry, I missed some stuff here. Oops. Aaron. That looks really nice, actually. Aaron is working on a 3D version of the... Oh, sorry, the font I'm using. The font I use on the board is not the same as that that Shoiga font. I don't know. Rotor, what font does Easy EDA use? But that's pretty cool. So this is what Aaron has been working on. Yeah, like it's a weird situation. Like, as in, you know, people already have it, so but you do need to give it a little bit of a sell, right? QR link to the website, that will happen. Open source hub 75 display driver. Right, we won't get too bogged down on this wording anyways. Right, okay, So let's leave it at that for the minute. Okay, so if we wanted to do like a key features, is it ESP32 a key feature? Yes, maybe. Yeah, I kind of mentioned before that like the most important part about open source to me would be like the schematics. That like is in when I talk about like or when I think about the stuff I've learned, when I think about the stuff I've learned from like Adafruits and Spark funds and stuff, it's nearly always from the schematics. But a couple of people I know were like, schematics is documentation. It's nothing to do with open source. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I agree with that, but like I kind of think that, you know, once people have schematics, that's like that covers the majority of the learning thing, and it completely prevents somebody, like, whether they have the license or not, just copying your design, like, or not even copying your design. I mean, like, taking your design and like just making it and selling it. Like if somebody on AliExpress was selling something of mine, even if they didn't have the appropriate license for it, like what am I going to do about it? Like I could complain to AliExpress, but like what's going to happen? Probably nothing. Display, driver, controller. We'll worry about that. Excuse me, the wording of that again. Like this doesn't have to be an exact thing. It's just Alright, so probably like if this was left aligned. Yeah, that's probably right. And I'm putting in my own bullet points when it supports bullet points. Of course it does. Like, do you go dual core ESP32 with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi? It's probably too long. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Definitely seems a bit big text-wise. Have a drink. If it's left aligned, is it because you left aligned or left it aligned? I don't know. I think it's left aligned. Oh no. I brought the I with me. Dual core ESP32 with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. I don't know. That seems fine. What are the other specs? Like it has a hub 75 connector. Like hub 75 connector. Does it slots into a hub 75 slot? Let's move on. Hub 75 compatible connector, maybe. Compatible. I can't spell. But again, like is it really specs you want here, or is it like features? Like in terms of, you know, hub 75 compatible connector, technically true. Like, but is what you really want to say to them is like plug straight into matrix panel, you know, like as in, yeah. Open source, well, we have open source up there. Key features, ESP32, USB. dual core ESP32, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity, USB RGB75 compatible controller. Yeah, like, is that what you want to say? But like what Mark has, but it's like, is that too wordy then? But then again, like, we've tons of space here. But like, should you focus maybe one side on features and the other side of like important pieces of information? 5 volts only. Yeah, but maybe it's important to tell people that the ESP32 is dual core. Because maybe not everybody knows that. Compatible connector. Yeah, so like, is it features or specs you want to would you go into that detail? Yeah, like, you know, plugs directly into Hub 75 panels. Like, that's a feature, not a spec. But like, that's probably what you want, right? Bluetooth 4.2.4. Bluetooth 4.2. But like, Hub 75 panel connector, does that mean anything to anybody? Bluetooth. Yeah, so like, I'm thinking maybe you would end up having you could end up having like a setup then over on the right. You need two lists. Forget specs and features. Okay, so let's even take a step back from the lists, right? So let's put in what would be, or what's in the lists. Like, what would the list be? Would this be, what is the product? Think what a consumer wants to know. List 1 is what's the product. So it's what a tech person wants to know. This is both a consumer product and a tech product. Yeah, I wonder, should like, well, it's impossible to know really, but like, as in, should the, like, the real techie parts of it be, you know, a deep dive on the back, like, as in, here's what this is and what blah 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 blah. But yeah, some people will want to plug it in and use demo code. Yeah, like, to me, getting people set up to use it and telling them to go, here is the website and here is the information, like, here's your examples and stuff. What can it do as list 1? Drive matrix panels. That's about it. What has it got as list 2? Well, the Tindy advert doesn't contain anything at the moment, but let's look at Tindy I2S Matrix Shield. It's like, this is effectively the same thing, right? Shield for controlling RGB LED matrix panels with an ESP32. This shield is, what is it? This shield is for easily controlling RGB LED matrix panels using an ESP32, which, yeah, blah, 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 assembly required. Display text, graphics, and animations. Yeah, that's true. Why did I make it? Like, does any of this stuff go into it? Maybe. The board makes wiring them really simple. It's just slots directly into the input header pin and has screw terminals to connect to the power cable. Yeah, like, so I haven't done out the product page for the other one, but look, I'm a copy and paste programmer. There's no way I'm not going to copy and paste a lot of this stuff too. I've even started writing up the documentation for it. Hub, github.com, Trinity. Yeah, so setup and configurations. Like, if you're doing the setup, like, there's a lot of information here that you can't fit in the card, I would say. But if you only got that thing out of it, probably be pretty good. Yeah, no assembly required, except a little bit of assembly if you want, because I'm not getting the LDR assembled. Well, I could. I probably still have time to change my mind on that. But the reason, I don't know, I must have showed it here before, but like, the reason I was doing that is because, like, when this is plugged into the back of the matrix panel, it being like tight to the board, like, it's probably not going to get the whole ambient light stuff. So, like, I kind of imagine people needing to connect wires or something from there to wherever the top of their, like, display is, you know, so you can get a better idea of what the actual ambient light is. Yeah. So there may be some assembly required, but majority, it's plug and play. Like, that's plug and play. Somebody was kind of joking about plug and play. It is plug and play. Like, you plug it into the board, you plug it into the board, you connect up the power screw terminals, you program it, and it's ready to go. Like, as in, there's no jumper wires, no anything, like. But again, it's kind of hard to decide what are you pitching, like, as in, like, that's a sales thing, you know. You've already sold them on that stuff, that it's simple to use and stuff, right? Yeah. So, okay. What can you do with it? It's kind of like, what can you do with it? It's the same answer to plug and play, some programming required. Yeah. Well, what would you expect it to do when you plug it into the back of the matrix panel without programming it? You could, in theory, like, have a demo sketch on it. There will be a demo sketch on it. I guess, but like, as in, have you plugged it into a 64 by 64 or a 64 by 32? And like, the Trinity doesn't know that. So for I actually think that's pretty funny. Like, I think this is I think I'll probably put that somewhere on this. Just reject the cookies. 7 clones, please. I did not see your Discord message. 1 second now. Links, analogs. Yeah, so this is pretty similar to like what Dustin has or whatever on his one. So can I? Is it okay to share this, Mark? Or oh. Thank you, Discord. I'm hoping the answer was yes. Because I was like, oh, just open the original Discord and it shoots it over onto my other screen. Yeah, I don't need this either. Where is my... This one, is it? Guarantee fully powder. Where is my Oh, I was on this thing. I should probably save this file. That's already saved. Alright, I'm gonna let's add a page because we have the back as well. Please throw in drawer with all other. It'd nearly be pretty bold to just please throw in random box with all other useless manuals. Like that'd be a bold statement to just have that on the back. Yeah. Okay. So like, what can you do with it? I feel like they already know what they can do with it if they've spent whatever they've spent on it. Mark, is it okay to show that thing that you sent a screenshot of? Oh, sorry, Johnny needs to know. Is it? Johnny needs to answer that question. Yeah, like I'm definitely not above or not like putting in jokes is exactly what I'm all about putting in the jokes, right? In a drawer, yeah, random box. Okay, so I think that like getting started, like, or useful information or whatever is need to know useful information. To buy these. My daughter went through a phase of telling why did the chicken cross the road jokes, but the answer was always poop related because he wanted to poop around Ireland. Yeah, so like Dustin Watts has something pretty similar to this, and like I think it looks nice, but like I don't think those 3 bits of information are useful. like I know the USB connector is a power supply, I know the RJ45 connector is the LAN connector. I can probably guess that it's a micro SD slot. Like this is useful. Like, well, USB is 5 volts anyways, but like, you know, use an 8 gig thing, max devices, whatever it supports here. Like maybe that it is USB-C, that's important, right? That you're going to need. But again, maybe you needed to know that beforehand, but either way. But what did we say here? USB-C is not always, well, it should be. Yeah, like, I don't know if you were here at the very start, Mark. I kind of started with something like that. Sorry, I didn't see your Discord messages afterwards. I kind of started with something kind of around those lines. Yeah, like I even had that exact like number scenario thing. I have to enable some stuff here. Like, you know, as in you'd number this thing is number 4 and this thing is number 3 and this thing is what, you know, whatever. But yeah, I just wasn't sure. The first thing you do when you get the board is you need to plug it into the panel. But is that like, people know what goes into the panel, right? Like, what you need to know to get started. I might still do something like that on the back. Mark, what you need to get started. Not to get, this is too long. How to get started. Getting started. It fits, no extra connectors, needs strapping. No, it doesn't need anything other than just go straight into the board. On the back and tech info on the front. Unimportant, Rob. The panel gets powered from the matrix board. The Trinity is a powered distributing board, a bunch of matrix panels from the AliExpress link. Yeah, make me rich and buy these. Make me rich and buy these links. Getting started, or yeah. I don't even know if getting started is the right word. Important info. Wait, I have Bitloony steps somewhere. Don't I? Do I still have them? Oh, I must have gotten rid of my Bitloony steps. Oh, that's a disappointing. It's a disappointment. I used to have like steps for Bitloony. Must be on the other one. ESP32 oh, sugar. Matrix. Who is this? Nobody look at this. He's got level shifters and everything. I wonder why he's so many. Well, ones are pre-level shifted. Okay. That's interesting. Matrix shield. thought I had steps for Bitloony somewhere. Where am I imagining that? AKA Bitloony steps. Maybe maybe due to an ongoing maybe due to an ongoing trade dispute with Bitloony, I took them all down. I definitely had steps somewhere, but maybe it wasn't for this. Maybe it wasn't for the matrix boards. What else could it have been for? Plus points if you can make the matrix display a readable QR code. You can make the matrix display a readable QR code because Aaron Christoffel made the worst clock ever. Before he made a matrix project that updated the QR code every minute, and the QR code was just a link to the time or something stupid, but it was a readable QR code. 21 by 21, like that's you can fit 4 of them. Okay, I obviously don't have AKA Bitloony steps. Disappointing. I must have them on something else. But anyways, unimportant. Like plug Trinity into hub 75 matrix. Can I go down here without creating a new one? Use arrows as a guide. Ugh, I don't like this. See your order. First header installation. I don't know if I like this. Connect. Oh, I don't know what to put here. You see, you can't go into too much detail about like what libraries and stuff are needed, because that can change. Yeah, show it with pictures. Maybe I'll be tapping into my IKEA well again. And actually, I sent MakerFab's testing thing. I wonder if including like pictures ended up being like fucking 25 megs or something, the document. So like, this is my picture for installing the Trinity, right? Trinity goes in here, and I probably should have arrows pointing to both arrows. Trinity just slots in there, plug in your power cables, and then I don't even have one for connecting the barrel jack, but like that's basically all you need to do to connect the Trinity. Is those two things. Plug it into there and connect up those. You then need to power the Trinity, and you probably need to program it, but that's it, really. Like I could go back to my the IKEA person on Fiverr. Connect, power, play. Hey Rob. Who would have thought that coming up with a little card would be harder than making the board? Ah. Connect, power, play. Check Discord. I have a ton of demos with it. I don't know if I've anything that can control something with it. I'll take a look at Discord in 2 seconds, Aaron. So this is how many examples I have. I need to probably need to put like some numbers in front of these, but like there's tons of examples and there is more coming. But yeah, lots and lots of stuff. I probably want them to get started with something like text. The hello world is a nice simple one. It's yeah, it needs to be updated a small bit, but yeah. All right, Discord. Hello, Discord. That's looking really good, Aaron. What are you using to make this? I think that looks really nice. I think that would be easier to use than you got an air conditioning unit that has an ESP32 inside it before you started with it or after you started with it. Hand drawn in Figma. That's really good. Like really cool. Yeah, that looks great. Like I love the fact that it doesn't have the like or parallax or whatever of like these connectors. Yeah. It looks cool. Thank you. Oh, cool, Samuel. That sounds interesting. Right, so once I getting started, is it getting started that I want to tell people? Like, as in, it's more like, should it be like, need to know, good to know, nerd info? Like, you know, is that kind of like I can't call these the BitLooney steps, but like if BitLooney had this thing, like I would just be like, BitLooney, it needs to be 5 volts. I don't care what you do after that. It just needs to be 5 volts. card for you in the Discord. Where's my Discord gone? Did Discord crash or something's gone? Or maybe I closed out of it. Oh, that's fine. Just buy it. Plug it in. That's pretty close. Yeah, I think you're right, Bolly. I should be... like, what are the lists I should have? So we're talking about... We've had specs... features... getting started... Is there any other specs? What would you want with a new toy? I've found myself using Unexpected Makers thing a lot. I think like the main reason I use his pinout is for ESP32 pin information. Like, as in, I want to know what the SDA, or sorry, the SPI pins are, or the I2C pins, and I forget them. Yeah, so the other way I was thinking about doing this was need to know, good to know. Like, if you saw a thing and one of the sections was called need to know, you'd be pretty... Yeah, definitely, like, detailed setup instructions, 100% won't have them on here. Yeah, like, the power information is definitely just the most important thing. And, like, setup guide is kind of... like, for an actual setup guide, I would expect, like, almost this level of detail of where you plug it in and stuff. Like, yeah, like, for me, the most important thing is this yoke. Well, there's two things. 5 volts needs to go in here, and then this jumper pin thing. Like, they're the two things that are going to confuse people, because people plug in USB-C power and they'll be like, hey, it's not powering my matrix. And it's like, you just need to move that pin if you want. So maybe the section is power info. Like, I feel like you'll figure everything else out. Yeah, like this, I think this is something that needs to be on the GitHub page. Well, this whole guide will be on the GitHub page, but anyways. Yeah, like, what you just want is the user to not cause problems for themselves. Like, as in, if they have the board... Yeah, like, maybe you can get this information across in one image, though. Yeah, that'll be hard, Mark, because of library dependencies. Like, that library has even changed its name in the last 12 to 18 months. So I'm super conscious about putting anything down on the card. Like, do you know what I mean? Um, yeah, maybe I should. Like, the demo that currently will ship with the thing, if you press the touchpad, it'll, like, put on super burn mode, and maybe I should. Yeah, I might get them to reprogram that to something else, actually. Uh, like I'm saying to maker fabs that, like, you test the onboard LED, make sure this thing shows up, then press this button and it'll turn on all white, and make sure that that works okay, and then test the breakout pins. That's fine. And then move to USB-C and put on that burn test again and make sure that the polyfuse kicks in. Like, but maybe maybe the code that goes to the users shouldn't have, like, the burn test. Yeah, the issue with showing anything is that the Trinity. So there's a couple of things. The Trinity needs to know what resolution it is one problem, and I don't know that ahead of time. Like, so that's one problem, and then the other problem is that there's different matrix panels that have different kind of, like, that have different kind of tweaks that you'd need to put in the code. Yeah, like, that's probably. Yeah, like, I guess that's really it. Like, like, the section, important bits of information, important info, important info must be powered by 5 volts. I don't know why it started sucking back in on itself. Why are you doing that? Okay. Navigating by thing doesn't work, apparently. Must be powered by 5 volts. Can be powered by USB. Can be powered by USB. If jumper is moved to diode bypass. Shouldn't, like, when you do shift and enter, shouldn't it be like here but without the dot? It's not doing that. Can be powered by USB. Yeah, you see, like, I could say, but can take a few amps, but, like, does that mean anything to a non-technical person? Like, it should nearly be, can be powered off USB, but see documents for more details. Hey Dave, how's it going? I didn't see you there. The hammer is here. Can be powered by USB. Ah, where did you go? Can be. See docs. Can be powered by USB. Programmable. Like, what else would you say if you're doing this here? Can be powered from USB. Read below for steps. Just put a little star for now. Can be powered. Designed by committee. It's kind of gone that way, John. Hey. But I'd be having this designed by committee, but with my own brain. So crowdsource open source hardware. No, there you go. Crowdsource documentation. Important info. Like powered by 5 volts. Do you say like supports most Hub 75E panels? What does that say about you, Dev? And you know, I'm just a guy doing PowerPoint. What's PowerPoint about PowerPoints? I'll get back to the wording of this, but what else do I want to say here? So 5 volts is very important. I guess the like is like the fact that there are some different flavors of panels, and like I'll help you with that, but you just gotta go see the documentation. Just that's pretty late. It's after midnight. Is it a donor? Is it a donor? Is it a donor? Important info must be powered by 5 volts, can be powered off USB. This was so much easier when all I had was this little sticker and I couldn't fit anything on it. Step 1, do not plug in yet. Read the docs. I am kind of allergic to cat fur. How did you know? I had a donor for lunch. You thought of me was decent enough to that send the photo. That was decent of you, but I think I would have liked the photo, to be honest. I'm at a roadblock now. Caroline texted me. What did she say? Caroline messaged me. Is there something going on with YouTube with subs/likes lately? Nearly all the vids I watch have started to really amp up the please like and subscribe shite the last few weeks, And they nearly all say that it helps YouTube know that their channel is liked, etc. I don't know. Is there something up with YouTube? Probably. Is it possible? It is possible. Like, yeah, it's possible. We could give you, like, it's possible to have this kind of an image. Maybe both. There's always stuff like that on YouTube, isn't there? Like, literally since I've been doing YouTube 4 years, it's always been that way. Bow to the algorithm. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, whether it's something to be proud of or not, I don't think it is. I think it's more stupid. I don't think I have ever asked for a like or a subscribe. But I think it's more stupid than anything, because that is a call to action and it works. Yeah, you can't stick a photo on it. You can't really, but like, I'm just trying to think of, if I handed you a Trinity and you're like, oh great, I'm gonna go get this working when I go home, what would I tell you? Right? I'd be like, you have to power it off 5 volts. That'd be the first thing I'd say to you, because I just don't want you to break your matrix panel. Right? Has to be powered off 5 volts. They can be powered by USB. Maybe I'd tell you that, I don't know. I would tell you to look at the documentation on the GitHub page. Like, there's no way around it. There's some things that need to be done with it. You need to install the library, and I could put down the library on this thing, but as I mentioned, it has changed name in the last 12 months. Probably won't change again, but who knows? Like maybe that guy stops maintaining it and it gets forked into something else. Like, you don't know. Like, I don't have control over it, and I don't want to maintain it either. So, like, I'm happy enough for, like, him to maintain it, but I don't have control over whether it changes name or changes anything. So I'm really reluctant to even, like, mention names of libraries and stuff on it. It's no switches you need to set. The only user configurable thing is that the only user configurable thing is this yoke. And that's if you want to power the matrix panel off USB. Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like, if I say there is full setup instructions on this link, I'm fine with that. I have control over that, and I'll tell them the updated name of the library and whatever else there needs to be done. But, like, what does the board do when I power it up? No, nothing. Like, it needs, like, it's what would you expect, like a thing with it? Yeah, you see, like, it's not even like a TT Go board or whatever. It's because that has the actual display, and you could display a little jingle or whatever on it. Like, the Trinity needs to know what type of board it's plugged into. Ooh, Unexpected Maker has an idea. But, like, if I met one of you guys at a maker fair and you go, oh, can I get one of the Trinities off you? And I go, sure, here's a Trinity. And you go, what do I need to know? I'd be like, power USB 5 volts, power USB 5 volts, and I have instructions on my website for getting it set up that covers everything you need to know. Single-sided board, nice diagram with pinouts and a nice logo and a link to website. Ship it. That probably is the way to go. And Aaron's pinout, while it's not finished, it's pretty nice looking. Just label the stuff with that. Full pen. I presume it's okay to share this, Mark, is it? He says yes, always okay to share. Okay, cool. Well, I just want to, like, yeah, if anybody sends me something on a stream like this and they don't want me to share it, please prepare it with please don't share. Yeah, like something like this is nice. This was my original, like, thinking of whatever. Full pin LED out. Yeah, like even for the internal thing for me, like I could have, like, you know, yeah, one sort of awkward thing about my board and whatever is, like, the actual connector is on the bottom, but I think that's fine. Okay, so yeah, I probably still will have an important info section, but at the moment I'm thinking just single-sided board, nice diagram with pinouts, and we'll just put this please show, and this is staying on it, whether it's down the bottom or not. It's going here. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to finish up. Thank you for your suggestions. I've lots of notes and stuff taken down. I like this tool as well. Unexpected Maker. I will make use of it for sure. If you apply the correct power, nothing wrong will happen. Like, it just, it's like getting an Uno board, really. Like, it is a development board, really. Like, it's not meant to do anything when you just plug it in, really. Like, ideally it would display something, but I don't know what that something is because I don't know what display you've plugged it into. And even, like, say you plug it into a 64 by 64 display, there's at least 2 different configurations that could, like, configuration flags that could be flicked, that you may need to flick. One of them is not a big deal. Basically, it takes whatever the 0, everything is shifted 1 to the left. So the things that should be at the very left of this panel are over on the very right. But that's not a huge deal. But then the other one is like chunks of the panel are missing. But, like, even if it is a simple RGB test, like the 64 by 64 compared to a 64 by 32 will just look different. Couple more points. Yeah, like, does anybody use QR codes for documentation? Like, I don't. Like, I think I changed it. Where is my... whoa, I'm old. Like, so this is my I2S matrix shield. This is the documentation you get from me. Right. That's it. Right. And this is much more complicated because you have to solder it. Right. Like, it's effectively the same thing other than you have to solder it. But maybe that even puts it, I don't think I am older than you, Dave, or younger than you. I thought we had this before where I was like, what, I'm older than you? Or you're older than me? Yeah, like, but if I got this from myself, I would just go straight to the website. I would not scan it. I would just Google that. Yeah, I'm born in 87, Dave, so you are 2 years older than me. Scratchy later. See you, Sian. I am a tad younger. I'm born in 87. Yeah, I don't share my exact birthday too publicly. I'm sure it's available, but I feel weird about sharing it. But it is quite soon. Jeez, Aaron, you've missed your calling in life. This looks great, Aaron. I'm not just plow-mossing you, as the Irish might say. Yeah, I don't even know if it's the small channel thing. It's just kind of like, I don't know. Like, so many security questions are like, what's your date of birth? And it's like, it's all over people's Facebooks and stuff. Yeah. But, yeah, this looks great. And, cool. Okay, yeah, so... Okay, so I think I do like the idea of maybe we'll just label the pins and stuff, like similar to the... I don't have any of those. Where are they? Birthday.ca. That just gives you everything, huh? Where's Mark's last link? Yeah, I think something similar to this. I don't care about that. The CP2102 thing. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. Either time, so sorry. This is that. I think it looks great. Yeah. We can pin label whatever we need to do. Like, the important things I would think are 2 capacitive touch pads. Useful to know. Basically, like, free GPIO pins broken out here. Good to know. 2.1 millimeter barrel jack, 5 volt only. Good to know. USB-C for programming and power. Good to know. There's an LDR up here. After that, there isn't really a whole lot. The ESP32 has dual core or whatever. Why would you send me the do not share message system worked, but like I'm probably gonna dox you know, somehow just accidentally share my Discord screen or something. Yeah, you're braver than I am. I wouldn't do that. Okay, yeah, I think we're in okay shape. Even though we got nothing done, I think we're in okay shape. I can play around with some of the stuff like this. I'm thinking that the like I'm definitely going to include this. I love this. This will stay with me forever. I'm going to upload. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Where'd you go? Background remover. Well, I can do that myself. You do whatever labels you need to do here. I think that'll look okay, and I'll put QR codes and like links to documentation, blah 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 blah. Here. Full instructions. Yeah, I'll worry about that some other time, but that's the general layout. Probably a bit big, that stuff, but anyways. Maybe I'll watermark a big Trinity behind them as well. But yeah. Where is all this stuff here? Add 5-volt USB. Use more WinArt. Super fancy word art. Subscribe to my channel. Yeah, that'll be yeah, we definitely need to put in a few kind of Easter eggs. Or I love this. This is my favorite thing of the whole. I'm in the way, but this is my favorite thing of the whole stream. Do you know what would be kind of funny to put in the back as well? Like maybe if you made the stuff small enough on the front, is like instructions of how to like turn it into a paper airplane. Like just fold instructions of how to turn it into a paper airplane. That'd be fun. Not to be used by effers. Okay, cool. Let's finish up there. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. I'll talk to you again. Bye bye.